Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Sorry about being late. I went to go live, and I had to reboot my modem. It never fails. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. How you doing, Dave?
Hey John. Hey John.
How's
Thanks for
everything?
having me, man. Cool.
Good to be back. Good to have you back is what I meant to
Yeah.
say. Jeez, I'm all fluttered. Oh, so I'm
I
trying
was
to think.
just reading this.
Oh, you holy mackerel! It was that quick.
Quick. No, this is the first issue, right?
Oh, that's the first issue. I thought
Yeah.
you got the double, but okay,
I
cool. Because I
haven't
just mailed yours out. Oh, geez, this week. I forget exactly which
no,
day.
no, I haven't received that one yet, but I thought I'd reread this one before I read the
Oh,
next
thank
one.
you.
Yeah.
What'd you think? What'd you think? You always want to hear your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it's colorful, it's fun. It's like you have this main character. I have like a snippet in his day, right? And his
Right.
day is so full with all these things they need to solve, all these problems, a wide variety of things, saving people, fighting villains. He even has this stalker character, really, really cool. Lot going on. And then afterwards, the ending was kind of heartwarming, like, bad day. And then he comes home, that was really nice.
Well, yeah. The name of the story is Father's Day, and he's trying to get home for Father's Day.
Yes.
When you're a
Yeah.
superhero, you don't have that luxury of planning. But that's going to be like a running theme. Like it's taken from Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always running out on dates, and when you're a superhero.
Yeah, it's
But
nice to have like heroes who have like loving families. They have this hardship as their job as a superhero, and then they come home and have this loving um surroundings.
right,
I like that.
that's one of the things. Like more than anybody, I'm sure of I have a gigantic world that I wanted to introduce everybody, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a second issue. I don't know, how far I'm going. So I was so tempted to just overwhelm everybody with all of the world building
Yeah.
that the people who read the first draft were just like, I don't care about any of this. There's no hook. You got to get me to like your world. So then I streamlined it down. And I wonder if I streamlined it down too thin. Chuck Dixon said, you did a good job getting me interested. You piqued my interest. I would pick up number 2. So number 2, which you should be getting any day now, is a little bit more and a little bit more, but like,
Right. Yeah. Slowly built. Slowly built. But I like that the main character was just a good guy.
yeah,
He didn't even use violence when he didn't have to with the first villain. He kind of tricked him.
right,
That was
right.
really good.
It's funny because one of my first proofreaders was just like his very first action is he's lying because he made it seem like he was more powerful than he was,
Right. Yeah.
and he de-escalated for a few reasons. The first reason is why, he's the patriarch. He's a father. A father shouldn't rush into a situation and start spanking and beating. You know what I mean? A father should the first thing a father should do is de-escalate. A father is more powerful than their child, so they don't need to come in swinging. Hey, what's the matter, Dave? Why are you upset? Why are you and Frankie fighting? Tell me what's going. You know what I mean? And try to use it as a last resort. A little, like as my father would say, a little spanking never hurt anybody. So that's you'll see in issue number 2. His first resort is to de-escalate through conversation, and of course it doesn't work because it's a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But I want so. And then you'll see that kind of bites him in the ass later on because people are going to start to realize he ain't going to come out swinging. So if we come out swinging,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
That's his weakness. Yeah.
that's he has a few weaknesses. A couple of his weaknesses aren't obvious at first, but there's a general weakness to all superheroes in my world that'll be exploited sooner or later, and you'll get a hint of that in issue 2.
You mean a general, as in they all share the same weakness?
Yes, because all superpowers ultimately come from the same thing in my world.
Okay.
There's really there's 3 ways to get powers: magic, which is completely rare and the exception. there's biological tinkering, I guess technological tinkering. So there's forcers, but I don't consider that superheroes. If you just have laser guns and rocket belts, that's cool, but that's not, you know what I mean? That's not superpowers. And then there's the main way, but as you'll see in Patriarch number 1, do you think that the governments would let people know how to get superpowers? If there's only one way to get superpowers, the governments don't want Joe Schmo to know that.
So no, they will save that for their own army.
Right. So the United States government figured out how to make superpowers, and then the odd person stumbles upon them, and then everybody who gets superpowers in the United States, the government handles them, gives them a sweetheart deal, and then says, "This is your origin that you tell everybody."
Right.
So the Patriarch is, you'll see issue number 1 of the Patriarch, which is which Renzo is working on right now, is dealing with. He just can't take the government lies anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So
I really like the combination of Renzo's art with Daniel's colors. By the way, works really well.
Yeah, Daniel. I saw Daniel from your comics, and I said the coloring is so good. So I asked Dave if I could contact Daniel. I don't want to be a poacher.
I also noticed you refer to the pencils as black and white art, right? And then the colors as color art, which kind of makes sense because colors, that is art,
right?
Yeah.
And wait, Oscar colored the second story, the suit, which is there's 4 errors in the comic that I've noticed. 3 of them being typos, and one of them I forgot to put Unheroic Tales as the title of the second stories because it's the origin of a supervillain.
Oh
right?
no, yeah.
But he's a major character. He's the Lex Luthor to the Patriarch. Go figure, a bad politician. Go. So you'll see more of him in issue 2, and then you'll see him as a manipulator behind the scenes. So let's just address everybody in the chat. Then we'll talk about your comic. You got a new campaign. Oh wow, there's a lot of comments, Dave. You bring the fans. First off, you have Safeguard on Fund My Comic.
Yes.
So we'll check that out. Let's get all your comments. Justice for Crimson. Will she make a comeback? Will the cloak guy bring him back? Is he in this neither place? Will he be cloned? Will we ever see that poor pauper back? Good day, Dave. And eventually,
Mike. Hi, Mike. David. Mike. Yes.
My Comic Heroic Tales 2 is still available, also on Fund My Comic. I'm in the middle of fulfilling. Dave, yours just went out. I'm sure you could understand. All my international orders I'm putting towards the end because I got to go to the post office physically and fill out forms because I learned the hard way. When you do it at home, through your home computer, it's always wrong. Then you have to ask for a refund, which takes 30 days. And then you got to go to the post office anyway. So I'm doing all of the American, but I said, you know what? Let's try the Netherlands. And yours went through fine. So far, it didn't come back. So
okay.
Yours was the one international order that slipped through the cracks. You should be getting it. We got Marcus over here.
Marcus.
He's got your.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Safe. I'm sorry. I'm like still flustered because I'm so pissed that modem crapped out. Obey Cthulhu. Yes, I always got these Cthulhu shit. Soon to be Krampus. Cthulhu's Krampus. Is there something I don't know? If everyone figures out how to get the powers, then the supers become normal. Yes and no. It's really, really difficult. It's a difficult process, and most people who go through I don't want to give it away. Most people who get superpowers become villains, which is another reason why. Just think about the average next door neighbor. Look at COVID. How many people became bad people when they were given a modicum of authority? The average person will become a villain. I would say that in my world, there's probably one good guy to 1,000 bad guys.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Because even the good guys, like Tolkien said, or was it why can't I think of his name? Who wrote Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? He said, the most oppressive authority will be the ones that do it for good, because they'll stop oppressing. So even there's some good guy. I'm writing a story now of a bad guy who absolutely, you can't convince him that he's a bad guy. He thinks he's doing the morally right, holy thing. And don't worry, he's not one of these white supremacist Christian guys. No, he. There's other religions in the world, and he's the champion of this particular religion, and he thinks that destroying the world is the proper thing to do.
Right. Yeah. The cool thing is when you can have a villain that you can, at some level, agree with, some points, but he's taking things too far,
Well, the guy I'm working on right now, you can't agree with him. If you agree with him, you're also a villain. But
Okay.
but wait, I'm being cagey, but like the suit, Lucius Kane, he's evil for the sake of evil, and that's kind of fun. He's just selfish. He just wants power and control. He's
Right.
based on Sauron, just like he just wants to remake the world in his image.
Yes.
But Sauron thought that if he could take over the world, he could fix it. Whereas the suit just wants to take over the world because he wants to take over the world because he deserves it. He deserves
Right.
it.
Yeah. But then what? I sometimes wonder if someone wants to rule the world. All right, give them the world, and then what? What's going to happen next? That's
right. There was a story in the Champions in the early 70s where Dr. Doom released a mind control gas.
Okay.
And then the Champions got canceled, so they finished it in supervillain team up. And Dr. Doom was in charge of the world and then realized it was no fun. He liked the chase better than the catch, which is a funny story, but so now Dr. Doom has this world controlling, all powerful mind control gas. Did he forget about it? You know what I mean? It almost should have been a what if story.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
This is a good question then for you. Well, because we've been talking about my comic, I feel bad because you got a new comic on for my comic right now. Active right now, guys. Get Safeguard. Oh my God, I love that superhero name. Now, have you ever thought of a story and said, I can't do this story because it's going to change my concept of my world? Like, I think Marvel and DC, sometimes they come up with a story and it's like, oh, that's a pretty cool story. But it ruins, like they have to forget about it in order to get back. Like the story that I'm thinking about is King Thor. So in the Thor comic books, Odin died and Thor became Odin, the leader of Asgard. And it was like a 20 issue storyline. And then at the end, he had to time travel and go back and save Odin. So
yeah, they have to reset things always, right?
Right. And that drives me nuts. Like, do you have any stories like that? You're like, that would be a good story, but that's the end of my world as I know it.
I don't. Well, there are some things that I rather avoid, like magic and stuff and time travel. So these are things that could break your world if you're not careful. So I avoid those. And story-wise, I think I just try to chase the stories that have the most potential. So if it means that you have to, like, change the status quo, that's fine. You get a new status quo with new potential, So that's fine as long as you don't change the essence of what people like about your comics.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think a lot. I think like Stan Lee and Jack and all of the, the big wigs. I think they thought about that. Like Iron Man didn't release his technology to the world; he kept it to himself, which is kind of selfish, but you can understand for the purpose. Like Reed Richards, in one issue, he was working on wireless energy transmission.
Oh yeah,
and then just think about the whole world would be different. There would be no oil. And then at the last.
Or a Wakandan technology,
right? So I think about that. Like, will this change the world as I know it? And I don't mind as long as I think about it while I'm writing the story.
Sure, yeah,
and incorporate it in the future. But I have like 2 or 3 years planned. So after that, maybe I'll change the status quo. But
And the thing is also with my universe, there is this existence of synthoid technology because 10 is a synthoid, right?
right,
So I had to come up with reasons why 10 is the only synthoid.
right, yeah,
It's kind of explained in issue 6. But for the future, I have to keep like bringing this stuff up to make sure that it's clear why people just don't mass manufacture these synthoids, right? Because this would completely change this world.
thank you, Doug. Yeah, you got to come on my channel, John.
John.
Yeah, good. Thank you. That made I was having a rough day today, and thank you for that comment.
Oh.
Yes, Dave is absolutely. I hope my comic books are approaching the quality of Dave's comics. They're my favorite superhero comics right now.
Wow.
Like I say, it kind of looks like 90s comics, but actually well written. So
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I really enjoy your comics. What we getting in line, what we were talking about, like again, Stan Lee understood, or maybe it was Jack Kirby Jack Kirby created Captain America, but I forget if Stan Lee was the one that like flushed out his origin. I'm sure Marcus knows in the chats, but like
I don't really know.
The super soldier serum. That's a world changing event.
Yes.
So of course, what's his name? The man who invented it had to get killed. It's a lost technology. And I do like in Marvel Comics, literally for 50, 60 years, they've been doing stories of trying to replicate that breakthrough. Now, I wonder, is that what 10 is? Is she like a breakthrough that they don't know how to replicate, or is it too expensive to replicate, or is she a fluke, or is there something we don't know behind the scenes? Because yes, making perfectly indistinguishable artificial humans is a world-changing technology.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it is established in the series that 10 is the last one because the other 9 got wiped out during the attack on the lab from issue 1. And there were 10, right? Plus all the scientists that were there were murdered.
Right.
So Virgil Pratt, he's the last one who has knowledge of synthoid technology, right? So the government is trying to recruit him to reboot the perfection program. So in issue 6, you will see why they have to solve that issue.
Right. Yeah. I love, like, comic books, like space ships. That's world changing technology. Like why doesn't, with all of these space races, the Kree and the whatever, the Shi'ar and the Dominators and DC and the easy access to spaceships, why isn't Earth an empire? And why doesn't Magneto go and colonize another planet and make them?
Yeah, this is also why stories like One More Day don't work, because if you have like a sick grandmother and you want to help her, you have like magicians and Reed Richards and Tony Stark, and especially when you're Spider-Man, these are your friends, So yeah.
You know what gets me mad about One More Day? Even Aunt May would say, "Let me die." You know what I mean? I'm an old freaking lady. What? Okay,
Yes.
save me what? I got 8 more months. I got a year. Like, you know what I mean? In real life, my 90-year-old grandmother would be like, "No, have babies. Remember me. I lived my life." Because Aunt May was a good person.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem with that story. It just makes no sense. You notice when you read it that it's made to force the status quo back to something else.
Right. Yeah. I got no problem with changing the status quo. I at one point, if I'm around long enough, I will change the status quo in my world. But it's something you got to do and think about the consequences. And you brought up time travel. Oh my God, is time travel my bugbear? I am so annoyed at most time travel stories. Do you have a time travel story that you actually enjoy?
Well, Back to the Future is great.
Back to the Future is one of the most egregiously wrong, but it's a popcorn movie that's not supposed to be taken seriously, so I love it.
That's the thing. You don't. If you make a story where you kind of poke fun at time travel, then it works.
Right. Like when I watched I sat in the movie theater and I just loved it, and I thought it was charming and fun and everything like that. But like afterwards, I'm just like, where's the energy coming from? That's like literally erasing that photograph. But it served the purpose. It was a visual clue to the people of what. But like, I don't know, like real time travel that couldn't happen. Like 12 Monkeys is my favorite time travel. It's so tight. Everything's thought out. All the consequences are. It's a
All
closed.
right. Yeah. It's been a long while since I saw that one.
Yeah.
12 Monkeys.
But I wrote a time travel story explaining time travel. There's only one timeline in my world. If you go back in time, you can't kill your grandparents because it didn't happen already. You know, there's no alternate universes where Dave Brink is John's long box and John's long box is genuine. There is none of that. You know, because each universe is in a different position. There's different laws of physics. So there's
all right.
There's one patriarch. There's one Mary Sue. There's one. So you can't, except when you can. There's like a mythical artifact that people believe exists. Does it exist? No, but supervillains are looking for it.
And the Terminator. Sheldon says the Terminator and the Terminator 2. Those were great.
The Terminator, the first Terminator was excellent. And yes, and I funny enough, the Hot Tub Time Machine was a good time travel movie as far as fixing all the loops. Yes, 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis, and it was one of what's his name's first movies. Why can't I think of the blonde actor?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt's one of Brad Pitt's first movies.
Yeah.
Yes, Brad Pitt. Or as Futurama friends accidentally sleep with your grandparent. Yeah, Futurama had some pretty good time travel.
Yeah, man.
Like Doctor Who, I used to take it seriously, but like they break the rules of time. Like this rule is inviolate, except when we get another story that violates the rules. But don't worry about that. Anyway, so there's not going to be any time travel or magic in your comics?
There will be some time travel because I have a villain that has time powers. So in that sense, but it has strict rules. So he can't travel back, for instance. That's one of the rules. But time travel in the sense people go back and change stuff. No, rather not. I rather avoid that.
I have a character who he's one of the first. He formed like the World War II super team. I'm not going to give his name yet until he's in print because but he's a scientist, and in the 60s he goes off on a spaceship, and because of faster than light, or he doesn't go faster than light, he goes nearly light. So he goes, and then he comes back in like 2005, and he's still young. So that's going to be like my Captain America. He goes away and he comes back, and he's, rather than being trapped in ice, he was out in space traveling at relativistic speeds, and
right.
But so I kind of like the old guy coming back, like the Captain America, lost in the 40s but comes back now. Except the real Captain America would be like, why are men holding hands in public? What's going on? Why are there open borders? I fought to close the borders.
Oh yeah, that's tragic. Yeah.
So tell us about Safeguard. I've been meandering and talking about.
Yeah. So I have been
in a private chat, so I could bring it up while we talk about it.
Oh sure. You want me to share the link?
Yeah.
1 sec. I will send you the link in the private chat, or I can share my own screen. That's also possible.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever works. Share your screen.
All right, share my own screen. Right, there we go. Safeguard on Font My Comic. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right. So in the Perfect 10 series, you see these guys called Safeguard. So the superhero team. You have this. So the Jamie Comics universe is a world with superheroes, right? And the superheroes are monitored by this organization called the Division M, and they monitor metanormal activity. And they train metanormals to become like super cops. They call them meta marshals. And I see one of these groups in the Perfect 10 series, and this group now gets their own book. I was able to start a project with Alan Goldman, and I was like, all right, I think we should do this. While we are like finishing Perfect 10 book 6, we are also working on Safeguard. So these books will be released relatively soon after the other, which is nice. But you don't need to know anything about the Perfect 10 series. This is a standalone book. You can just read this, and that's plenty, you know. But yeah, these are 7 heroes. They are it's kind of like what I liked with Avengers, X-Men, like this group of people who work together. They are kind of friends. They have their dynamics. They have their various powers, personalities, and working together to overcome like metanormal threats. In this case, they call them metanormal threats. Right, and here we see like 10 is part of this group, and in this first issue, they face a threat called Pandemonium. They are like villains, and so another group, and they call themselves Pandemonium. And so who they are and where they're from, you will find out in this book. So look at this art, guys. This is
that art is great. You know how I am with superhero names. Would you mind giving me a rundown of all their names? Because first off, when you put the name Safeguard in your comic books, I was just like, how did I not think of such an obviously great team name? Because Dave and I have been talking about this. I find naming superheroes kind of fun and easy, but coming up with a superhero team is, oh my God, it's excruciating to come up with a good team. And Safeguard was right there.
Yeah.
And man, you just grabbed it. I'm not even jealous. I'm proud. That is an awesome name for a super team.
It was the same with Perfect 10. I was like this isn't used yet. I couldn't even believe it, you know.
Well, Dave knows I've had a non-player character in my role-playing games for 25 years called Perfect 10. And I even showed him the character sheets, and it was great because the character sheets were all yellowed with age, and she's an android.
That was that was crazy. Crazy, man. Yeah, I initially had the name Safeguard 7 because I like the alliteration. It sounded cool. Safeguard 7, you know. But I dropped the 7 because I didn't basically have a fundamental reason why there should be 7 members. So I like to have the freedom to change things up.
Yeah, I think it's a good call to get rid of the 7.
Yeah. Like, for instance, Fantastic Four, the 4 belongs there. It makes sense, but not with this. Pandemonium looked like a freak show, which they basically...
That's literally what Pandemonium means. It means the abode of demons.
Yeah, yes. Right, so the guy in front here is called Ethos. He's the leader, so that's why he's up front. He's kind of the guy who gives the orders, you know. And then we have, let me see, this is the little dude here in the lower left. Oh, you can see the mouse.
Yeah, I can see your mouse.
Right, that's Pinball.
Pinball?
Yeah.
He can bounce. He's like Speedball?
Yeah, he can bounce. He was kind of inspired by Puck.
I was going to say he's a little guy. I have a Puck ripoff too. His name is Runt.
Runt. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
Hey, we got a visitor.
Hey, friend. Hello. And then we have this dude is called Stellar. So okay. He was he used to be like some sort of Indiana Jones like character, like this famous dude called Tristan Teague, and something happened with some sort of artifact that he found, right? And it gave him these powers, and now he's Stellar. So all these guys have their own stories, and I'm hoping to be able to tell them all sometime. Then we have the big dude is Iceberg.
Oh, great! That's a good name.
Yeah, he's like powerhouse.
Like you don't even need to explain anything. That name conveys everything. He's big, he's strong, he's cold. You know.
Done.
That is
okay. Then we have 10 here. Of course, she's like the Synthoid, so she's 10 times stronger, faster, and than other people. Plus, she can manifest weapons. And then we have Wisp. That's the blonde one. She has like, what do you call it? Prehensible?
Prehensile
Yeah,
hair.
like she can move the hair a bit like Medusa, but it's more like one long thing. Really cool. I really like her. She has a great personality. And then here we have a character she called Diabolique, and she was officially she was a villain. So what is she doing here? That's also part of the story that you will see in Perfect 10. But again, you don't need to read that because every character in this particular book gets their own moment.
Yeah, that's. I was talking about that when I do my X-Men comics on Sunday. Is in a team book, it's tough because you gotta give everybody a moment to do something cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like the X-Men could get they were monthly, so if you didn't see Cyclops every month doing something cool, you knew it was only a matter of time. But like you and I, the pressure's on because we can't do monthly books.
No, this is true. It's true. I try to introduce as many concepts as possible in one book without things being overwhelming.
I love this. I love that.
Yeah, this is Paul Rodrigues. He is the artist from Perfect 10, right? So he made the B cover.
That is beautiful. I got to back this. I didn't back. I wanted to wait till you were here, but I'm not going to back it live. Obviously, people don't need to see my credit card number.
And there was a comment that the number 10 was dropped from 10's costume, but it's not. You can see it here on her thigh and on the jacket. She has a jacket, right? Very 90s, I wanted the costume to look 90s. So
I got to ask now because I didn't think of it until this comment. Are you avoiding the Roman numeral X on her costume?
No.
You know what I mean? Because X is a 10 in Roman number, and she's 10, but then it's gonna look like the X-Men.
No, I never thought of that, to be honest. But, when I would design it with the X, then it would probably be too. I think people would be reminded of the X-Men, so that's bad design.
Right.
Right. So and then we have the pencil pencil edition. So without the inks, so Everson Lirio, he's inking the book. Then Brian McNair, he's coloring the book, and then Joel Saavedra, he's lettering. And without all these layers, you get the raw pencil art from Alan Goldman. And we made one book. We're putting one book together where you just get the pencil art to marvel at.
Mike wants to know: does Stella wear a mask, or is that his face?
That's kind of a mask, but it has a like a cosmic origin. So it's not really cloth. It's more like something else that he can summon. Yeah.
Oh, we got Pops. How you doing, Pops?
Hey, Pops. Hey, man.
And then we have a comment for later. It's a good question. We'll ask later. Oh my! Look at this.
Yeah, this is awesome, right? So this was probably the toughest part of the entire production. It was creating these villains. So I had some ideas, some concept, but basically all of them had to be designed. And some of them went through several designs. Two of them got completely replaced because I couldn't get the team dynamic as I wanted it. But we got there, and now it's such a phenomenal villain team. These are like spectacular villains. They have like demonic backgrounds, So this kind of connects them theme wise. Really, really cool. I love these guys. And this is drawn by Paul Rodrigues and colored by Federico Sioc.
That looks great.
Yeah, man. Then we have some sequential art completely done. So this is inked and colored and lettered, so you can see what the final quality is. So it starts with this segment with Tristan and Ten. They're in this museum, which is called the Grand Capitol Hall of Antiquities. And this
Don't
museum.
comic book people realize that when you put ancient stuff together in one room, villains emerge? What are they going to learn? I'm doing the same thing in Patriot #1. The museum, bad stuff happens. You put ancient stuff together in one room.
Yes,
somehow villains get involved.
It's a fantastic setting, and it made sense because a 10 is kind of new. She has to learn a lot about this world, and then you have like Tristan Teague. He is like he loves these ancient artifacts in history, right? So he takes her to the biggest museum there is in the Grand Capital. It makes sense. So the adventure takes place there. We start there, right? And he's talking about this demon called Abarak, and where the cloak comes from, stuff like that.
So you got demon stuff. So does that implies that there is magic then, I guess, or is that
it? Yeah, it is suggested. Yes. So yeah, but you have to be careful what you actually.
I take that back. You can have demons, I guess, like technology opening portals and stuff like that too. So
yeah. So yeah, and then so it basically says that the cloak used to was created to bring back loved ones from the afterworld, but somehow like other creatures came through. So that was the story, right? He's telling that, and Ten is like, "This is astonishing," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm so glad you like this, And she says we have to destroy it because she doesn't get why do you keep this portal from hell in the middle of the city, So they explain to her it's just a story, it's not real, Okay, so she doesn't get yet what is real. Okay. Because she's manufactured and she fights metanormals, and you have a supervillain who can time travel. So she's like, what is real? What isn't real? Really cool. Look at this art, really nice. I love this.
It's beautiful artwork.
Yeah, I'm so lucky that I get to work with Alan. And then we get some introductions of the heroes. So they get some new costumes, some of them. And this particular character, this lady, Gabrielle Fontaine, she is like the fashion designer for superheroes for Division M, right? And she appeared in a early issue of Earthling like 8 years ago, and finally I can bring her back for this book. Really cool.
Yeah. Marcus wants you to go back to the studio. He wants to draw your characters.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Sure, man. We have some examples of the pencil art.
Look at that.
That's amazing, man. Love this. And some more stuff. So
look at that.
So Lirio's now inking this page.
Man, you like to throw as many characters as you can in a.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I this is you have to actually zoom in to really see it.
Yeah, even with Pow though, you must tell him scripts. Throw everything that I freaking got. If I mention the character, throw them in this panel.
Yeah. Well, when I write scripts, I emphasize characters with colors, so Pow can see which characters must be in there, very easily. Idea. So we have this splash page right here with the Pandemonium. Yeah, I love these guys, man. These look at this art. It's fantastic.
It is.
So some more. So 10 has her new costume. This costume was so it's a new costume, right? It's designed by Robert Nix. So sometimes I hire other artists to design new things, new costumes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like to sketch out the costumes. I get a kick out of designing them myself. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm a control freak, but I want like everything about my characters to be mine.
Yeah.
And then of course Renzo makes it look good,
I get that. Well, most characters in this universe I have designed, but sometimes I like to. Sometimes I don't know. I have no ideas, and other times I just like to see what other creators can come up with. Um, so you get some variety because I have my limits as
Right.
designer and my own preferences, and sometimes you need something new, something fresh, you know. Um, and with this campaign, people can also get a original personal commission from Alan. So any
Oh,
character you want, he will draw a character for you. You will get the high-res scan. As you can see, he pencils it and he inked this also. And you will get the original art shipped to your house. So
oh,
yeah,
cool.
it's classic superhero stuff. It's the kind of superhero stuff that I like to see. It's the kind of art that I like. It's the kind of story that I like to tell. A lot of cool new characters. So basically, what you see is 7 heroes versus 7 villains, and so I get to introduce a lot of new characters within a like fun story. You
Yeah,
know.
I get a kick out of your books. They're so much fun. There's like within like a page, excellent stuff is happening. It's just great superhero stuff. Like I said, I look at your stuff. Literally, one of your comics was one of the inspirations for me making comics.
Oh
You know,
wow.
I don't. That's not an insult. Not like, oh, if this guy could do it, I could do. No, but it was just like, this is so much fun that I'm not going to get what I want from the mainstream anymore. I got to take guys like Dave and RJ from the Fourth Ages lead and make it myself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe issue 5, maybe issue 6, there's going to be a story that's dedicated to you and 10. I'll put it in the credits. But if the numbering is
Wow.
it may be 6, maybe 7, maybe 5. I don't know. But Sheldon had a question that I'm looking for that I thought it was a good question. Here we go. How do you guys get into the headspace to create characters, write stories? Like, do you go to the library or coffee or anything like that?
I just it happens kind of constantly when I'm just working and I'm doing something else and suddenly I have this, oh, this would be nice. But when I go like when I do things that don't require much thinking, like I'm doing the dishes or I'm cooking, then I get the best ideas. So oftentimes I go cooking, we eat, and afterwards I need to write things down.
Yeah, I have an hour commute to work and an hour commute back, and lately I've been driving. Now, when I take the train, I just fall asleep because I don't have to pay attention.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But now that I'm driving, I have to stay awake. So I make myself think, and you guys are gonna laugh at me, but I got Grok, so I talk to Grok and it talks back. I know it's an AI, but it keeps me awake. For those of you who don't know, I was in a car accident. Like, I passed out while driving through heat exhaustion. So I'm paranoid when I drive. So I want to talk. I want to keep. So Grok is like a conversationalist just to keep me awake. So lately I've been talking comic book ideas, and it responds back. A lot of times it's just nonsense, but it records everything. So then at night I have a transcript of all of these. It's like, what do they call that? Like when you just spit out ideas rapid fire. There's a room.
Brainstorming.
Yeah, it's brainstorming, and then there's a log of it, and then I go through. So I've been doing that for like the past year, and
Right.
like I have older characters, and I'm like, I want to do a story with it. Like last night, I got so excited on the way home thinking about this hero that is lost in time that I actually started writing the story, which really wasn't going to be in Heroic Tales 7, but I'm writing the story now because Grok got me excited.
Yeah.
You need to fill your car with talking parrots. Good idea. Good. I got to feed them, and then they're going to poop all over my car. My wife already won't sit in my car because it's filled with dust from the construction site. So imagine if it's filled with parrot poop. Oh, we got Zaid. How you doing? Zaid Comics. This guy is another one. Phil Diaz. Not only is he writing comics, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think his brother is drawing comics, but he's printing his own comics. This guy
Yeah.
stumbled
That's
upon
incredible.
a printing press, hired a guy to fix the printing press, through his own experimentation is figuring out how to work it, and he's making his own comics. Guys, you can't get more dedicated than that. And then we got bigwigs in the indie space who can't make a comic book in years. And here's a guy, I picture him going outside climbing trees and scraping the bark off and making his own paper. You know,
Yeah.
this is a guy who's doing everything.
Phil is the real deal.
Yes, absolutely. He has a character called The People.
Oh yeah.
A couple of your characters I got jealous. Like when you Force Majeure is one of your characters.
Yeah. That's
I
a
got
team.
jealous when I heard that name. I was like, oh, that's such a good name. You know, but I can't say I ever thought of it because I didn't know until I had to look it up after I
Oh, right. Yeah.
was like, oh, that is such a good name. But The People, I got jealous. I was like, that is such
That's a good name.
good
Yeah.
concept. Oh my God. I love that freaking character. Do you have that? Do you have people that just fall in love? I imagine 10 is probably the fan favorite.
Oh, other people for my characters. Yeah. Yeah, that happens. But there are also characters from other creators that I'm like, I wish that character was in my universe so I could use him. You know, that's such a cool character. But yeah, it belongs to someone else. So unfortunately.
Oh, here's a question then. Not that I'm asking, but like, would you team up with other people from other? Like, would you have Top 10 meets The People, a comic like that?
Oh yeah, yeah, man.
Oh, we
Yeah.
got. I skipped somebody. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we got Frederick. He has a comic on
Frederick.
my comic right now. Rattel
Yeah.
is now. I got it. Rattel. There's a lot of Bitcoin now. That Bitcoin is dropping. Does Rattel get weaker? Like that would be cool if Bitcoin gets higher. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm goofing around with Frederick. Frederick's a good guy.
Yeah.
Frederick actually helped me solidify a character.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps when you get
Right,
to
when you
start
talk with
with
some people,
someone else. Yeah.
So back to that question. Would you team up with other people, like say like Perfect Ted meets Horace H. Hoover or something like that?
Yeah. Or the patriarch. Sure. Why not?
Because is this a surprise stream? No, it was scheduled. I announced it last night. For those of you who watch me and don't know, I'm working a schedule 3 to 11, so I can only stream at noon Eastern Standard Time or midnight around there. So my channel has had less activity, or at least until February, and then I know that they can extend the schedule in February. That's the way they do things. But I'm doing. Are you familiar with Bill Williams' comic Punchline?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he asked me to do a 12-page story, so I was like, "Which character do you want?" He goes, "Do whatever you want, but I gotta have his characters. It's a Punchline comic." So I picked Mel, and not Versima. So Mel, the older one, the one that's trading Versima, and she's on a quest to get her own powers, and that brings her into my universe. And so I took 8 of my characters and teamed them up. But I gotta say, I was like, I didn't want to do it because I have like such a strict rule on continuity. That so now I got to accept everything in Punchline. Like he uses the Greek gods, I'm using the Greek gods, and you know what I mean. So how am I going to get his continuity to match my continuity?
I kind of solved it with Crossworlds. So Crossworlds is my we only have one book out right now, but this is a crossover between Jamie Comics and Arctic Press. They had this character called Camilo Wallace, right?
Right.
And in the first on the inside cover, you see that's not supposed to be canon. So basically, you can write anything you want and don't consider it canon, right? Just for fun.
Yeah. So I had to come up with a story that Mel meets my characters in a way that doesn't break continuity. So that was rough. Well, and then it had to be 12 pages. And originally it was my character save his character, and he's like, John, what do you know what I mean? Like everybody's got to be cool. So
yeah.
But now Bill says he loves this. It was point to the story is it was the first time that I had somebody else telling me what I can and cannot do, and it was fun. It was challenging and fun.
Cool. I'd love to read it.
Yeah, I can't wait. There was something else I wanted to ask you. Yes, I do have to go soon, Zach Tan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dave is always welcome to come back, though. If he wants to come back every day at noon, he can come back every day at noon.
Thanks for this, man. Thanks for offering me your time. I appreciate that.
There was something else I wanted to ask you. Now I'm
Someone in the chat asked if there were add-ons, but Find My Comic doesn't offer the option to put in add-ons, so you can't. So this is basically Safeguard only. So Safeguard.
I got add-ons.
You got add-ons? How
Yes,
do you do that?
like you could buy Heroic Tales and then add on a coin and add on. I got add-ons. Just check it out. Yeah, you could add stuff. Granted, I had Luke do my page for me, so I guess he knows all the tricks. And
Right? Yeah.
Because I can't do anything on the computer. But when I was talking about you on Sunday, I don't know if you were listening. Writing a team book. Do you ever lose track of a character?
A lose track? What do you mean?
Like when I was writing that, because this Punchline story is the first time I had a group of heroes fighting.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, I forgot one of the characters." So like I had to go back and reintroduce them into this. And it's funny because Renzo didn't draw that character. I was like, "Oh, this character could you add this character in this fight scene and stuff?" So like, you got a million characters fighting a million characters.
Yeah.
Do you ever just like, oh,
No, it hasn't happened yet. I had so the biggest battle we had was in Perfect 10 book 5, and that was like 27 characters, and I had them like color coded, so the script with color, so I could also keep track.
That's a good.
But it worked. Yeah.
Because Marcus is in the chat right now. In the first Public Eye story, Poinsettia, the main female character, she gets approached by 4 thugs, and the Public Eye saves like a Spider-Man style, a mugging, and and then Marcus is going over the street. He's like, "Well, how does the 4th guy get beat?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "So I read the script. The 4th guy just disappeared. I forgot." So I said, "Okay, just change the word 4 to 3." So she gets jumped by 3 guys because it
wasn't drawn yet. Oh,
it wasn't. He was just rereading the script, and then doing the printer's devil for Stippling Vaughn. There was a whole group of henchmen by the main villain, and they all have names and they all do stuff. So in that case, I had to go back and rewrite the script, because he was like, "What happened to Andrew?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what happened to Andrew?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, Andrew went out."
Name too.
Yeah, he went out. Yeah, he was named and he did something, so I couldn't forget about it. Like these were just Thug 5, Thug.
Right.
So but you got 27 characters, man. I don't know, because Patriarch 3 is going to be a super team versus a supervillain team, and already I'm sweating thinking I didn't even write it yet. I got it planned, I got it plotted, but like,
yeah. Well, what you can try to do is you want to split up these teams, right? So you have like smaller sections. So you can jump to different scenes with smaller people together instead of one big brawl. At least that for me, that makes it more interesting.
Yeah, that's probably why the Justice Society always broke up into teams, right?
Right. Yeah.
I always loved it too, because they put like Green Lantern and Superman, the 2 most powerful beings in the universe, on one team, and the other team was like Robin and snap a car. It's like, what are you guys gonna do? Put Superman with Robin? Come on.
especially when you can give them all their own little mission. That's
right.
That's always awesome.
Oh, so I was talking. Has any of your characters ever just took off? Or like, I didn't think this was going to be the popular character.
Well, yeah. Wait.
I know one of your characters people seem to talk about.
Yeah, Crimson. People really like Crimson. He is a villain, and he so he kind of got killed, and people responded to that like I didn't really expect, but they demand Crimson back. That's a running thing.
I thought Calamity. It seems people like Calamity also.
Yeah, people like Calamity, but Crimson really they really like liked him, and they liked this character called Replica, and she had a really small role, but for some reason people really latched on, and now they want to see more Replica. So I'm trying to think what I can do with her.
Yeah. Well, people seem to like the hot chicks, right?
Yeah.
I made King Fu. He's the world's greatest martial artist and
Yeah,
Elvis
that's a crazy combo, man.
and he's been a favorite in my role-playing group for years. Like my friends, like we'll be playing and we'll be doing a story, and one of them's like, we need to get King Fu over here. Like, so they in the story they'll call King Fu and get him just because they like the character. So he hasn't even been in the comic yet, and people like, we want more King Fu. So I mean, so I had to change a story that was already written, and it made it better. It made it better.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Already backed and looking forward to safeguarding my copy. There you go.
Dan Sen. Hello, Dan.
George Perez. Yeah. Like to draw. He used to say that. Throw in as many characters as you can. He loved that.
Yes. It's a challenge. Wow.
Anything, I unfortunately, I could talk to you for hours, but unfortunately I got to get changed and get ready and drive to work. So anything you can say before we close out today?
I just want to thank everyone for backing and supporting. So if you just share out this campaign, guys. So my reach goes only so far. So if you can just share it out on social media, that would really help. And thank you all. We're now at 63%. So really cool. Really happy with that.
Yeah, I'll back
in
tonight.
3 days. So thank you.
I'll back tonight when I get home. Oh, is Argo com? Oh, Argo is here. Dan Sen.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to skip over Dan. Dan is a childhood friend of mine. We used to shop at the same comic book store, and it's really funny. The Incredible Pulp, it's no longer there anymore. But
Incredible Pulp. Great.
From the Incredible Pulp, Larry, the owner of the Incredible Pulp, was one of the first people to have like in-store comic book appearances. He had Dave Sim from Cerberus. I was like a 14-year-old kid, and it's funny. If you go to Dave Sim's website, you can see chubby me, 14 years old, getting a Dave Sim autographed comic, and I could care less. I was just free comic book being autographed. You know what I mean? Like, there's no superheroes in this. You know, I didn't even. It's like pearls before swine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dave's making comics. My buddy Mike, who's making comics for Dave. And we all did it independently,
Yes. Dan is making comics for like what is it, 20 years or something? It's crazy, man. And there's like a lot of superheroes, a lot of superhero teams. So he's like the master of writing superhero groups.
And to give Dan a plug, he has a comic called Marshall Strong, and that is made by Michael DeShaunis, who's one of my players. And Marshall Strong is a character he's in Heroic Tales #2. He's a small cameo, but he plays a major role in the Punchline story, and he's the leader of the Meta League, the superhero team. See, you use Meta, and so like Meta is, they don't say superheroes, they say meta-powered beings in my world.
Oh, yes.
So the Meta League is the league of meta-humans. They're the Avengers of my world. So Dave's a character. So if you like my comic, Marshall Strong is in continuity with my comic.
Right. All right. Cool.
It's based on an adventure.
So this means that the Argo Comics version connects with the version that you're going to write. So the stories.
Yeah, it's great because I asked Mike. I was like, "Could you send me the scripts?" So because I hate to write something that completely contradicts what he.
Oh yes.
Because Mike wrote those stories years ago, and I thought he was never going to publish it. Then just coincidentally, Mike had kids, got married, got kids. So, life happens. It's not like we just went our own ways. And next thing you know, I'm making my comic and Mike's like, oh, wow, my comic's coming out too. So I was like, oh man, like I really had like a crisis. Like, what if they contradict each other? Then I can't. So I actually made a replacement character for Marshall Strong. What I mean? Because he's such a pivotal character in the long box world. So I was like, oh man. So then I read his script. I'm like, okay, we little tweaks of
few tweaks. Yeah.
But because I'm such a continuity freak, this time slot is good. You get all the people awake during the day. Yeah, every time slot is good for somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I got 2 more minutes, and then I really have to go. So, how long is your campaign going for?
25 days. So yeah, I might extend later on. We still have plenty to do to produce the comic, right? So we just want to produce a quality comic. We're not rushing this.
Right.
It's also like the biggest like creative team that I've had on a book. Like I never really worked with a inker before. I worked with Thiago Gomez on part of Perfect 10 Book 5, but that was the only time, right? So this is basically a complete book with so artist, inker, colorist, letterer, then myself. Then we have Ali who does the copy editing. You know, it's it's a lot of things going on, but we take our time. There's no rush. We just want to make the best book that we can make. You know, and I
Is this
think
the first issue of the series, or is it a one?
yeah, this is a one shot, so it's one story. So it's not like you have the cliffhanger. You have to wait for 8 months for next book. But if people really like this and it's successful, I love to make a sequel. I love to turn this into a series. It's kind of the same formula we did with Perfect 10. So Perfect 10 Book 1 was written as one story and was so popular that we made this
Right.
series.
Yeah, I think that's the best. For my comics, every issue is a standalone, complete story that I hope that you could enjoy on your own. But if you get them all and read them in order, you'll see that it builds kind of like the way Marvel and DC used to do it.
Yeah. Which is not easy. By the way, it's very tempting to throw in this cool cliffhanger.
Right? Yeah, I already for like the big story. Like the Thanos level villain that shows up.
Yeah.
I already thought of like Galactus has a herald, and so when I wrote the story, he didn't have a herald, and now I was watching a YouTube channel. And I'm like, that is a great name. And then I looked up, there's no other villain with that name. And he's perfect for a herald for the other guy. So, like, that might be my first cliffhanger, fighting the herald. And then the next issue, fighting the bad guy. But if I could make them two complete. So it might be a cliffhanger, but not really.
Yeah, that's the problem with us. With us small indie guys, we think big, right? But we only can produce so many books per year, so you have to really choose what you're going to produce.
I'm working with 7 artists, 8 now. I just Matt Bauer reached out to me, and now we're brainstorming a project together.
But that's cool.
But I keep telling everybody, work at your own pace, make it fun, because my next 4 comics are Renzo's. You know what I mean? And then whenever anybody else submits stuff, I could put them in any order, and then Renzo will continue. Renzo is always going to be my go-to guy, but I have to put these comics in order, or everything else doesn't make sense. And Renzo, nobody's drawn Raven's debut. He's my Batman character, but Renzo, he's chomping at the bit to do this character.
The Raven, that looks cool also.
But I have to go. I can't.
Yes,
I'm borderline. Got a speed to work now to get.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you for coming by. I'm sorry I had the internet problems, but you're always welcome to come back. If you want to come back and talk more, you're one of my favorite people to talk to. I could talk superheroes and comics with you all day long. But thank you. Back Safeguard. I got everything Genuine Comics ever put out except for 1 issue of Earthling, and I love them. It's the best superhero comic books right now, bar none. That's not hyperbole. It's a fact. It's look at that art, look at the color. It's so good. It inspired me to make comics, and I asked Dave if I could work with some of the guys on his comic. It's so good. I wish you lived closer, Dave.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'd love for you to come over and play a superhero role-playing game.
Play some games, yeah, man. Yeah. That would be great.
But I got to get going, guys. So I'm sorry to leave abruptly, but it's time to say goodbye, kids.